What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Zay Moolah Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Craig. And without further ado, I will be going over the Titans' loss yesterday to the Cleveland Browns 27-3. But first, before I get into the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, with your mama, everybody. But let's get into this, y'all. So, man, let me tell you something. Yesterday was one of the worst Titans games that I've ever watched in my life. I mean, we could not do anything offensively or defensively. And when you look at this team, it's really disappointing because we right now have the worst offense in the NFL. And it makes absolutely zero sense because when you look at the players that we have on this team, this offense should be a whole lot better. I mean, we were happy because we signed DeAndre Hopkins. Traylon Burks was in year 2. Chig is in year 2. We thought Tannehill was going to be back. We thought Henry was going to continue to do his thing. But this offense has been absolutely pathetic. And the reason it's been pathetic because y'all see this man right here, number 71, Andre Dillard. Yeah, man, listen, this brother is the worst starting left tackle in football right now. It ain't even close. I mean, this dude is god awful. And it's really, really, really pissing me off because we signed this dude to a 3-year, $29 million contract. That's basically $10 million a year. That is not cheap money. And he has literally been the worst left tackle in all of football right now. If you look at his stats, Andre Dillard is projected to give up 39 sacks and 79 pressures. That is absolutely horrendous. And I know people are quick to blame Ryan Tannehill, but here's the thing. Let me tell you about this. I don't care if you got Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if you got Joe Namath. I don't care if you got Aaron Rodgers, any quarterback you name. He is going to struggle when his left tackle is literally allowing that many sacks and that many pressures. Yesterday, Myles Garrett had 3.5 sacks. 3.5 sacks, and he forced a fumble because Andre Dillard could not contain him whatsoever. And I tried to tell people coming into this season that he was not a good starting left tackle. There is a reason that Jordan Mailata with the Philadelphia Eagles is starting in Philly still, and Andre Dillard had to join us because the Eagles saw the writing on the wall that Andre Dillard is just not a good starting left tackle. He's a solid backup, but as a starting left tackle in the National Football League, he right now is the worst, and it's not even close. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm telling you, when Peter Skoronski comes back, he needs to be a left tackle, and we need to bench Andre Dillard because this makes no sense, and I'm really getting pissed off. So that's Andre Dillard. Now, let's go to Traylon Burks and Chig Okonkwo. Y'all, I'm very disappointed what I've seen from them. These are two guys that were supposed to play key roles on our offense, and so far they have been absolutely disappointed. I think Traylon Burks has 6 catches on the season for 99 yards, and most of those yards came last week against the Chargers, and really most of those yards came in that 70-yard catch he had because outside of that 70-yard catch, he's only had 29 yards outside of that. Chig Okonkwo is dropping passes. And Traylon, both of them really have been dropping passes. And this makes no sense, too, because we had a lot of expectation for these guys. We know rookie year, they were with Todd Downing, and we understood why they struggled last year. We are second year. It's going to be a lot better. We got a new offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly. We're going to go up-tempo. We're going to be a fast, physical, and speed offense. And we've been anything but that. So Traylon Burks and Chig Okonkwo, they must play better because if they do not, you're looking at a team that not only do we not have a franchise quarterback, but we're not even going to have a franchise left tackle, a franchise receiver. Right now, DeAndre Hopkins is making plays, but the problem is the offensive line is so bad that Tannehill just keeps getting sacked. So he can't even look downfield. DeAndre Hopkins is playing well, though, y'all. I'm telling you, D-Hop is playing well. I know the numbers might not show it, but DeAndre Hopkins is absolutely doing his thing. He's still getting open. He's still one of the best receivers in the league. And it's just disappointing that the rest of this offense is bringing him down because he is still doing his thing. Now, let's go to Mr. Ryan Tannehill. Y'all, it's over. It's over. And it's not just over with Tannehill. It's over with Henry. It's over with this current state of the team because going into the offseason, when you look at what this team did, this is basically the same team from last year. The only guys we added were Andre Dillard, Daniel Brunskill, DeAndre Hopkins, and then on defense, we added Sean Murphy-Bunting, Arden Key, Azeez Al-Shire, and that's really about it. This is the same team. Still have the same quarterback, still have the same running back, still have the same corners, still have the same safety. This is the same exact team. And when you got the same exact team that went 7-10 last year and lost 7 straight games and literally had the 30th ranked scoring offense in all of football, What do you think is going to happen? You get the same results. Right now, we're averaging 15 points a game. 15 points a game. The Miami Dolphins just had 70 points in a game. 70 in a single game. Meanwhile, the Titans, we have 45 points through 3 games. 45 points through 3 games is absolutely ridiculous. This offense stinks, man. This offense is so bad right now. We have no speed, no athleticism, no creativity. This is the worst offense in the league, and it's not close. This offense stinks. This offense is so horrible. And I'm telling y'all right now, the only way we change is we have to change coaching, and we have to change our philosophy, because we got to get out of this 1970, 1980, 1990 style of football. We want to play action pass. We're going to be a physical, tough team, run the football. No, this is 2023. You got to be able to push the ball down the field. You got to be able to have vertical threats that can go down the field, and you got to have receivers that can win one-on-one matchups against elite corners in the NFL. And we only have one guy on our team that can do that, named DeAndre Hopkins. This is absolutely ridiculous, the way this offense has played. When you look at the talent on this offense, though, like I named, DeAndre, Chig, Traylon, Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, you look and say, man, those are some pretty decent weapons at least. You should at least be able to score 23 to 25 points a game. But no, you're wrong. We only averaging 15 points a game. 15. This offense is just horrible. There's no other way around it, y'all. This offense is playing out horrible, and they are playing some bad football right now. And, man, if we don't get it together, we are on our way to potentially having a top 5 pick in the draft. Man, this is really bad. To make matters worse, though, let's go to this defense, y'all. Christian Fulton, we had high hopes for this guy. He's going into his 4th year. This is a contract year for him. We really thought he was going to finally ascend to be that number 1 corner that we need. Christian Fulton is done. He stinks too. He's like Andre Dillard. He's not good, y'all. He gave up the big play in New Orleans to Rashid Shaheed. And then this week, he gave up a catch to Amari Cooper on the left sideline, which that really should have been a touchdown because Amari Cooper was still in bounds. But fortunately for us, the referee said he was out of bounds. And then you talking about on 2nd and 26. This is what really pissed me off. On 2nd and 26, Christian Fulton has one of the worst penalties you can have as a defensive back, and that's a pass interference. And especially when it's 2nd and 26, when the offense is back that far, why are you interfering with the receiver? That is so stupid. You just gave them a free first down, and it was 2nd and 26. Christian Fulton is one of the worst starting cornerbacks in the league right now. So you know what, y'all? We got the worst left tackle in the league, and we got one of the worst cornerbacks in the league right now. Christian Fulton stinks. And he used to be my boy. He played well in 2021. But ever since that 2021 season, he's done nothing but get injured. And when he's on the field, his play has been very inconsistent. But this year, it's gotten even worse because now Christian Fulton, dude, your time in Tennessee is up. It's done. Let's move on to Sean Murphy-Bunting, the number 2 corner, supposedly for us, number 2 corner. Y'all. This man, I know he forced a fumble. That was a great play. I'm not going to take that away from him. He forced a fumble. But, man, let me tell you this, though. Those 2 defensive pass interference he had was absolutely stupid. That is so stupid. And then he's looking around to the referee as if, hey, I didn't touch him. I didn't interfere with him. Dude, yes, you did. These cornerbacks on the Tennessee Titans have zero technique. Every time that they throw the ball, opponent throws the ball down the field on us, you see how we're so out of position? We are never in position. And you know how much that pisses me off? Why is that always happening to us? That has happened for the last at least 6 to 7 years where our cornerbacks are always in bad position. They have horrible technique, and that pisses me off that their technique is so bad like that. It makes no sense. I think Chris Harris, our defensive backs coach, I think he's a pretty good coach. But it's like these corners, man, they're not learning, y'all. They're not learning anything. What in the world happened when Christian Fulton and Amani Hooker let Amari Cooper just go right by them? How does something like that happen? I mean, let's be serious. How does something like that happen, man? And when they showed the replay, they were both looking at Deshaun Watson in the backfield instead of having their eyes on Amari Cooper. I have never seen nothing like that. It's very rare that you see an NFL player, even though Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver, but it's rare that you see a wide receiver just that wide open like that. But you know why it happened? Because Christian Fulton and Amani Hooker were just played horrible yesterday. Their technique was off, the whole secondary. This was one of the worst Titans games ever, and there's no question about it. You look at this offense, we only had 94 total yards of offense, 94 total yards. And I'm going to keep referencing that Dolphins game because the Dolphins, meanwhile, had 726 yards yesterday in one game. Do y'all realize that the Tennessee Titans on the year only have 720 yards of offense in 3 games? But literally yesterday, down in Miami, Florida, the Dolphins had 726 yards in a game, and we don't even have that many yards in 3 games. Mike Vrabel, dude, when are you going to put your pride and ego to the side, my man, and start hiring outside of the organization? Because it is holding this team back. It is holding this team back. We got to get out of this old way of playing football. You can still be a physical team. You can be a tough team. But that you also at the same time can be fast. You can be agile. You can have great speed to you. You can play with excitement and joy. When I look at this team yesterday, especially offensively, we have no creativity to this offense. It's a boring offense. We don't have anybody that's a burner on this team. We literally have no deep threat on this team whatsoever. None. We don't have a deep threat on the Titans. We have not had a deep threat on this team since Khalif Raymond, and that was in 2020. I mean, come on, y'all. This was really, 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 really bad yesterday. It really was. And I'm telling you, at this point, I would not be upset whatsoever if Rand Carthon is like, you know what? When this trade deadline comes, I'm going to trade Derrick Henry, I'm going to trade Tannehill, and I'm going to trade Kevin Byard. I would not even have a problem if he does that. It's like, you know what? We're going to see what we got in Malik or Will Levis. And we need to see what we have in them, right? Because if Malik or Will Levis, if either one of them end up becoming a franchise caliber quarterback, then boom, we got our franchise quarterback. But if not, then we can gear up for the draft class in 2024, where they have Caleb Williams, you have Drake May, you have Shedeur Sanders, Michael Penix, Riley Leonard. We need to know what we have in Malik Willis or Will Levis. Because at the end of the day, one of those guys we're hoping is going to be our future. Because to be quite frank with you, we don't have a future right now. I mean, y'all, when we're looking at this roster, let's be honest. Who on this team do you think is going to be on this team in the next 3 years? Probably outside of Jeffrey Simmons, maybe Traylon Burks and Chiga Okonkwo, but I don't know. Because the way they're playing right now, they're not going to be on this team in 3 years. I think Tajay, he'll probably still be on the team. I like Tajay. But, y'all, we have nothing to get excited about when it comes to the Titans. When I watch these games every week, I already know how it's going to go. Because this has been the same style of football we played ever since Jeff Fisher was the coach way back in 1994. We have literally played the same style of football 30 years now. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I have friends that are literally fans of the Chiefs and fans of the Bills and fans of the Dolphins, and their offense is so high flying. They have so much speed to their offense. Their receivers can get open in a heartbeat. And then I look at our offense. We can't do any of that because we think we can only win one way, which is playing great defense, running the ball, and play action passing. That is so old school. That is 1970, that is 1980, that's in 1990, and that's early 2000s. We were able to win back then with Steve McNair, with Eddie George, with Kevin Dice, with Frank Wycheck. This is a new generation, man. This is a new day. We have to catch up because right now, the Titans, we are way behind as an organization when it comes to being an elite team. We are way behind, and it showed yesterday. The Browns are a really good team, but the Browns are not an elite team. They have an elite defense, but they're not an elite team overall. We made Deshaun Watson, man, he looked like 2018, 19, and 20 Deshaun Watson. He completed 81% of his passes. He went 27 to 33, 289 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And it would have been 3 touchdowns if they didn't say that Amari Cooper stepped out of bounds when he did it. I'm so disappointed by this team. Because, granted, we don't have the best talent, but we darn sure have enough talent to score more than 3 points. And when it comes to this defense, we definitely have enough talent, especially in this secondary. Right now, we rely so much on our front seven. But you know what? Our front seven, every game, they're not going to be able to get 5 or 6 sacks. Even today, yesterday, they still got 3 sacks. But we cannot rely on our front seven to constantly just bail us out on defense. We need these corners to step up. Christian Fulton, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Roger McCreary. Where are y'all at? Trey Avery, Amani Hooker. Where are y'all at? Man, I'm telling y'all, this is rock bottom for us. This is rock bottom. I mean, I cannot remember the last time we had a game like this. The last time we did have a game like this was the 2019 season. We played the Broncos in week 5, and we didn't score any points, and they beat us 16-0, and we benched Marcus Mariota, and we brought in Ryan Tannehill. That is the last time I've seen this team play that poorly. And even that game, our defense played really well. It's just our offense couldn't get anything going. But this game, it was just all around. The defense was horrible. The offense was horrible. The offensive line couldn't do anything. You got Traylon Burks and Chig dropping passes. Christian Fulton getting beat in coverage. Sean Murphy-Bunting committing dumb penalties. This is an all-around horrible performance from this team and the coaching staff. And Mike, I hold you responsible for this, man, because these are your coaches. These are your coaches. So I hold you responsible for this. Do y'all know we are 1-9? 1-9 in our last 10 games. 1-9. For a franchise that in 2019 went to the AFC Championship game. And now just 4 little years later, we have gone 1-9 in our last 10 games and have the worst offense in the league and have the worst secondary in the league. This is absolutely pathetic. And y'all see, listen, I'm still going to rep my Titans all day. I still got my gear on. But at the end of the day, us as a fan base have to put our foot down and say enough is enough, and we're ready to finally be an elite team. But the problem is we cannot be an elite team yet because, one, we don't have enough elite players, and secondly, this coaching staff / the organization is still trying to win playing 80s and 90s and 2000 style football. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. I even saw the Texans yesterday with a rookie quarterback. They put up 37 points against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are a team that a lot of people think are going to win this division. The Texans put up 37 points with a rookie quarterback. We can't even put up more than 15 points per game, and we got a veteran quarterback, a veteran running back, supposedly a young ascending receiver in Traylon Burks, and supposedly a young ascending tight end in Chig Okonkwo. And we can't even we averaging 15 points a game right now. And even the Texans averaging more points than us with a rookie quarterback and a horrible offensive line and young wide receivers. I mean, right now, we are the worst team in the AFC South, and it ain't even close. Because I just saw the Colts go on the road yesterday in a tough environment in Baltimore and literally come up out there with an overtime win with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Gardner Minshew at quarterback beat the Ravens on the road. And even they scored 22 points with a backup quarterback. We couldn't even score 3 points. Y'all, it's just so sad. It is really sad. I'm going to tell you this. We got to figure out what we're going to do as a franchise. Because right now, we have no future. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We don't. Because the problem is we still got a lot of veterans on this roster. Excuse me. We got a lot of veterans on this roster. And we really don't have that many young guys outside of Tajay Spears, Chiga Okonkwo, Traylon Burks. We don't have that many young guys, Big Jeff. But we don't have that many young guys that we're confident about. And that's the problem, because the best teams in the NFL, they draft very well. And because they draft very well, they have a lot of young stars on their team. We don't have any young stars on our team right now. None. All of our best players are veteran players. But you got to have a mixture of youth as well. Because at the end of the day, these veteran players, most of them aren't even going to be on the team next year. Tannehill's not going to be here. Henry's not going to be here. Kevin Byard's not going to be here. I think Andre Diller's going to get cut after 1 year. Christian Fulton's not going to be here. Sean Murphy-Bunting's probably not going to be here. Danico Autry, this is the last year of his contract, and he's going to be 34 next offseason. So what young guys do we have on this team that we're really excited about and feel like they can lead this team to a Super Bowl in maybe the next 5 years? None. We don't even know if we got a franchise quarterback on this roster right now. And we definitely know we ain't got a franchise left tackle, and we don't got a franchise wide receiver. This is bad. This is really bad. Even for our standards, this is bad. I've seen the Titans play some bad football, but man, I have never seen anything like this. 94 total yards of offense. Meanwhile, the Browns had 341 yards of total offense. Absolutely pathetic. We only had 6 first downs. 6. I know high school teams that get more than 6 first downs in a quarter. We only had 6 for a game? Come on, man. That makes absolutely 0 sense. 0 sense. This team, I'm not surprised by, just because, once again, like I said earlier, we basically have the same team like we did last year. We just added a couple of new guys, and that's it. Same team. Same exact team. And when you had the same exact team that was 7-10, what do you expect them to do this year? And this year, we got a harder schedule. Because you know who we got coming up on Sunday? The Cincinnati Bengals. And you know they're hungry. You know the Bengals are hungry because they're 0-2. You know they're ready to get rolling. Joe Burrow's been struggling. Jamar Chase, he's been struggling. You know they're ready to get rolling. And you look at this team, we have absolutely no hope. No hope right now. Nothing. Why should I be excited about watching Titans football? There's no reason to be excited. No reason to be excited at all, man. So, when I look at the outlook of the season, right? Before the season, I predicted us to go 7-10. I still think we're gonna go about 7-10. It could be worse though, y'all. I'm telling you, we might be 4-12, or excuse me, 4-13. We might be 4-13. I would not be surprised with the way this team performed yesterday. And we really should be 0-3 because the only reason we beat the Chargers last week is because the Chargers literally defense is worse than ours. Their defense is worse than ours. And that's the only reason. That's why our offense looked good last week. That's why Tannehill like he was back. No, that's why Traylon Burks looked like he was a quality wide receiver. No, it's not because of what we did. It's because the Chargers are so bad defensively, and they made us look like a competent offense, and we're not. We're not a competent offense at all. We're not a competent team right now. So again, I look at Mike. Mike, I'm looking at you, man. This is on you, though. I don't want to hear no more about we got to play better. We just got to coach better. We got to execute better. No, I'm tired of that. This fan base is tired of that. We are 1-9 in our last 10 games. I don't want to hear no more about we got to play better. We got to coach better. I'm tired of that. I'm so sick of that. And listen, Mike, your job is on the line, buddy. Because we have not won a playoff game since we went to the AFC Championship game. That year in 2019-20 season, that's the last time we won a playoff game. That is ridiculous. Then the 2020 season, we lose to the freaking Ravens in the wild card round because our offense stinks. And then guess what? We lose to the Bengals in the divisional round the next year. Why? Because our offense stinks. But yet this man, Mike, continues to run this same old school boring philosophy that's gotten us bounced out of the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, listen, y'all, I don't care about winning the division. I don't care about that. Who cares about winning this division? First of all, this division is not even that good. And secondly, this team, we thought we could go to the Super Bowl in that 21 season. I don't care about winning the division and hosting a wild card playoff game. Who cares about that? Man, I'm ready to host AFC championship games. I'm ready to go to the Super Bowl. I don't care about going to the playoffs anymore. We're past that. We are way past that at this point. Y'all heard Miss Amy say last year she was ready for this team to ascend to what? To new heights, to greater levels. Ever since we went to the AFC championship game in the 1920 season, this team has done nothing but regress. Nothing but regress. And it continues to regress. It continues to regress. This is really bad right now in Tennessee. Really, really bad in Tennessee right now. And if that means that we have to get rid of Mike to change it, we got to get rid of some of these players to change it, we got to get rid of some of these coaches to change it, I'm on board with it. Because I'm ready to be an elite team. I'm ready to compete. We cannot compete with the Chiefs. We can't compete with the Bengals, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Ravens. We can't compete with these teams. It is time for this team to become an elite team, y'all. I'm so tired of just being decent or being somewhat good. I'm sick of that. I don't want to go back to the Jeff Fisher days when we went 7-9 and 8-8. I don't want to go back to the Mike Munchak days when we went 7-9, 8-8. I definitely don't want to go back to the Ken Winston days when we went 2-14 and 3-13. No, I don't want to do that anymore. So it is time for some changes, man. It really is. And I'm done talking about it. It's time for these boys. Either y'all got to be about it or y'all got to get up out of Tennessee. It's that simple. And same thing with these coaches. I don't want to hear no more excuses. We're done with this. We've dealt with this for too long at this point. I'm sick of the excuses. I'm sick of we got to coach better. We got to play better. We'll make adjustments. I'm tired of that. I've heard that for way too long at this point, and y'all have not done anything to correct these mistakes. I'm done. I'm done. So in closing, I'm going to leave y'all with this, man. At the end of the day, the good news is we do have our first round pick in next year's draft. So even if we do stink, hey, we'll have a chance to potentially take Drake May or Shedeur Sanders or Michael Penix or potentially Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU. So that's the great news. And another great thing is, too, we projected to have over $81 million in salary cap space next off season, which means we can go spend. Maybe we can go get a T. Higgins, because T. Higgins is gonna be a free agent, y'all. And y'all know that boy is a bad boy. He's one of the best young wide receivers in the league right now. And we sure could use a T. Higgins to spice up this offense a little bit more. We definitely could use T. Higgins to this offense. So I look at it and I'm like, it's bad right now, but there is some good news because we still got our draft pick and we got a lot of salary cap space. All this team has to figure out is when is it time to pull the plug on Tannehill, Henry, Kevin Byard, and some of these other veterans and say, you know what, this is just a lost season. Let's see when we got a Malik or Will. And then if neither one of them play well, we're going to have a top 4 or 5 draft pick, and we can go get our franchise quarterback and start this thing over and finally become an elite team in the NFL, because this is what this fan base has really been wanting, man. We've really, really, really been wanting a team that we know can go to the Super Bowl, that we know that can compete for AFC championships. We are so ready for that because we see other teams and other fan bases doing that, enjoying themselves, and we cannot do that because our team is just not up to snuff at this moment. This is really bad, but like I told y'all, it's going to get better. Hopefully, it's going to get better because we do have our draft pick and we do have $81 million in salary cap space next offseason. So that will do it on this episode of the Zay Moolah Sports Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, folks, God bless and see y'all next time.